Yo, what is up, y'all? We are back with another YouTube video out here in this beautiful nature garden. I'm at this beautiful, amazing palace of a house. I'm grateful every day that, I have a beautiful place to stay. I have beautiful nature in my backyard. I have peanuts to eat and, try to talk through in a video. I'm grateful for all these things. But that's not what I came here to talk about today. Today, I came here to talk about and remind everyone to allow change into their life. Allow progression in your life, because it's so easy to step back and be afraid of change. It's so easy to step back and be like, oh, I don't want to do this because it's outside of my comfort zone, not knowing that that next step is their way to their fulfilling life, to their vision, to their manifestation. You have to allow change. You have to accept change and accept flow. Don't accept the old, but accept the new. Everybody wants to go back to the old because it looks familiar, it feels familiar, but that's only going to keep you in a perpetual state of growth. It's only going to keep you locked in your comfort zone. And I have many videos on comfort zone and how to get out of it and why you should get out of it, and why you should accept change. But today I just wanted to remind that, keep that going, because it is so critical. I've seen a lot of people who've went to a certain point in their career and then stopped because it started feeling a little shaky. It started feeling a little weird. It started feeling outside of the comfort zone. They, instead of trying to find out what to do and doing research on what to do, they went back to settling down and staying in that state, staying in that realm of just, procrastination, or just staying at a certain point of their career besides going further. And I've seen this with myself when I was on open mics. I go out to a lot of open mics, but a part of me realized, all right, I can't just stop here. I have to continue to grow my fan base, but really grow my fan base. Instagram is not cutting it. TikTok's not cutting it. YouTube, that's working. My website, that's working. Spotify, kind of steering away from it, but it's working from what I'm doing, from all the areas that I'm learning how to reach around and build and grow, aside from staying in my comfort zone. Because if I never change my point of view, change my learning, change what I was learning, then I would have never been able to grow my YouTube channel. I wouldn't be able to grow my Spotify, which I'm again trying to steer away from. I wouldn't know how to grow my website. I wouldn't have the confidence in knowing that I'm gonna grow my website. So you have to change your perspective. You have to get outside of your comfort zone. You can't just stay in one place. You can't just stay with the same style. And that's one thing I feel people are afraid of, is changing their style, is being called a switch up or a sellout or whatever, or just changing up on the homies, which is a box, which is a lie. Because if your homies aren't allowing you to change, then that's a problem. If your homies aren't allowing you to be who you want to be, that's a problem. And you have to change. You have to go through that process. You have to discover yourself. And if you don't discover yourself, you're going to be constantly lost in this realm of I lost my old self, now I don't know who I am anymore. Because you don't allow change. You're still trying to do the old you, but it doesn't feel right. I see that in people's eyes, where especially being an artist, where I've had to go through this journey of finding myself, and I see other people who just haven't been through that journey. They haven't been through that trauma, really, of understanding who you truly are. Just good trauma is bad trauma. And I believe finding yourself is a good kind of trauma, because you learn how to deal with certain battle scars in your own way, and you learn, and you create certain battle scars that remind you, okay, maybe I shouldn't do that because that wasn't me. You know what I mean? So always be open to find yourself. Always be open to change. Always be around people who want you to change. Always be around people who only want to see you grow. That's another number one thing. If you're around people who just want to keep you locked in that box, keep you just doing free shows, no. And you want to do you want to get paid for your work. You want to do free sessions, but you want to get paid for your sessions, and they don't want you to do that. See, that's a red flag. They don't want you to change. They're not allowing you to change. When you want to be in the fashion, but nobody else wants you to express the way you want to dress, that's a red flag. That's something that you need to move on from. Express who you want to be. Be free. Don't be too afraid of change. If you're feeling fear, most likely you're in the right direction. Keep pushing and keep going forward, because the more you push past that fear, the more you discover yourself, the more you discover who you truly are. So, get outside your comfort zone, make new friends, because the more you change, your friends are going to change too. I'm gonna tell you that. All your friends are gonna change. All your family might even change. You know what I mean? But it's all a part of the process. And when they see who you are becoming, they're gonna come running back, being like, "Oh crap, they're doing all this stuff, and they're all cool and stuff, and now because they changed, they're able to do these things." But it was because you changed, because I've changed, because you've accepted change. So accept your change. Go through it. Don't be afraid of it. You are allowed to change, and don't ever feel like anybody else has control over what you can and can't be, because it's so easy to be afraid of change. It's so easy to be afraid of something new because it's unknown. You don't know what's going to happen. You don't know whether it's going to work or not. You don't know whether you're ever going to be as good as you thought you were, but you're never going to know if you don't go. You have to go through it. You have to do the steps. You can't get from there to there from being where you're at right now. You have to take the steps to get there. You can't get to where you want to be in the state that you are in. You have to change your state. You have to get out of that state of being, of feeling fear, of feeling overly conscious about your decisions, and just go for it. Like in my last video, it is all entirely up to you to change your life, to create how much freedom you wish to create in your life, to be the person you truly wish to be. It is all up to you. And with that being said, you just have to go for it. You just have to go for it. In each and every one of my videos, I just go for it. Today, I was like, all right, I want to make a video about change. I just walked out, boom, turned on the camera. Literally, just no script. I just said, let's talk about change today. Let's do it. Boom. Bam. I'm in it. Because I wanted to switch up my daily routine. I want to switch up my morning routine. So it's like, all right, let's go out there and make a video. And the only way I could ever switch my routine and make daily videos is if I get up and go out there and make a video. And it seems so cliche to just say, but it's so much deeper than that. It is so much deeper than that. It is so much deeper than just be like, oh yeah, today I'm just going to get up and make a video. It's like, there's going to be days where you don't feel like doing it. There's going to be days where you just are like, oh my God, is this working? You start doubting yourself. But you just have to go for it. You have to get up and do it regardless of how you feel. I know sometimes in moments when you are in the presence of change and you're just kind of like, trying to do an art piece and you don't know what's going on. You don't know how to blend colors. You don't know how to even put the paint on a brush and make a thin line. I had to learn how to make a thin line on a paintbrush, and it was crazy. I thought it was super easy, but it wasn't. I was like, oh, so you have to like use the tip and then not use too much paint. It's like, you have to learn these things. And when you're in front of that canvas and you're just like, like you're really just stressed out. I'm talking like seriously. I'm talking like really, really, you don't know what in the entire fuck to do. You're just oblivious. You don't know how to even draw a detailed tree. You're just like, what's going on? In those moments, you just have to go for it. You just have to draw little stick figures. You just have to draw the little 3D little outline of the thing. Okay, and then when you learn that, okay, then you start learning the details. All right, cool. I think this looks like this. I think this goes here. I think this goes here. And you just do it. That's how I've learned. You just do what you think is best and learn from that. When you're on that canvas trying to draw Wesley Snipes, just be like, I think Wesley Snipes looks like this. and you do that, you know. You don't try to look at the picture and be like, no, it's wrong, it's not the best, it's no. You have to go through those learning stages. You have to change your mind. You have to learn how to look from your own perspective instead of being on the same oh, it has to be correct, you have to choose A, B, or C, and B is the only one that's right. No, B is not the only one that's right. A is right too, D is right too, C, F, Z, you know, all of them. They're correct ways of learning when it comes to real life, when it comes to real progression. There is no wrong answer, really. There's only learning. There's only learning and change. So change the way you perceive learning too. Change the way you think of learning, because it's not just, oh, I have to make the tree like that and the angles and that. You'll get to that, but you'll get to that on your own accord. You'll get to that on your own mindset. But again, you only get to that place when you change what's inside of this place, when you change what's inside of your focus. Because right now, people's focus is on being right, doing everything correctly, doing everything according to line. And I'm telling you, not everything's gonna work like that. You have to change your perspective. You have to welcome change and change that perspective. That maybe I shouldn't get everything right. Maybe it's not best for me to get anything right, because maybe I'll never learn. Think that way. Because you won't ever learn if you're getting everything right. If you knew everything and getting everything right, life would be boring. Life would be not even worth the experience. Life will not be worth anything. And this is why people deal with meaninglessness and deal with suffering and all that, because they think they know everything. They're sitting there thinking, oh, well, I know everything. And then when it comes to learning something, they're like, they kind of ignore it and make it seem like they know everything about it already. And that just leads them to meaninglessness and suffering and a life of just plain blandness, because they think they know everything, so they get complacent and they just sit down and watch Netflix. That's just like, cool. They don't really go venture into meditation. They don't go venture into reading books or writing. They just sit there and they have one routine, and that one routine is scrolling and Netflix and eating food. And if you're trying to stay away from a life of meaninglessness and utter boringness, you have to change. You have to get up and learn something new. You have to learn something outside of your comfort zone. You know how many old people learn things? Like, they learn a lot for whatever reason. They just sit there and they just learn things. I remember my grandfather. He studied Einstein. He studied the like this law book that was like literally this thick. Read it from front to back, because that's the only thing left to do is learn. He kept learning about AC. He loved AC, but he kept learning about it. He always went to the classes. He was the Yoda of AC, and he kept going to classes. He kept mastering his craft. He didn't just allow that one perspective to be his perspective. He always went out and even got different perspective of AC, of music, because he was also a music genius. But he had different perspective of everything, not just staying at one level, because he knew that changing was always the only constant. Changing was the only thing that mattered in this world. Changing and learning was the only thing that mattered in this world. So always remember that those are the two number one facts about life: is changing is the only thing that will ever remain constant, and changing and learning and learning is the number one thing to do. And creating, well, I should say 3, but we're not going to really number it, because this world is limitless. You're limitless. And the only way you can find out that you're limitless is if you change your perspective from a limited way of thinking. Is when you get up and be like, all right, I'm not going to fall back into these ways of thinking. It is so easy to fall back into the ways of doubt, into the ways of not believing that you can manifest. And I'm so direct. Now, I don't know which other way to put it. I'm not going to use these big words. I'm not going to use these outside words. And maybe I need to change that. You know, but just to keep it blunt with you, you have to change the way you think. If you stay in a state of doubt, if you constantly are telling yourself doubtful thoughts, if you are constantly telling yourself doubtful themes and suffering ways of thinking about life, if you view life in a way of it is attacking you, it will be that way. It will be that way. If you feel that life is not here to help you be successful, it will be that way. You have to walk in your divine power. You have to learn to change your perspective, change your mind, change the way you think, change who you are, and walk in your divinity. Because once you believe something, you will live it. You will live it. There is no excuses. There's no exceptions. You are not an exception to the rule. You are not an exception to the rule. You are not an exception to the rule. This is a land of no excuses. I'll put it on a t-shirt. You will live what you create. If you are creating a life of struggle and you are constantly thinking about struggle and you are constantly feeling struggle without learning how to get out of that feeling, you are going to forever live that life until you change it. If you are living a life of poverty, if you're living a life of always being, you know, in a rut, and you are always feeling that way about life, and you see life in that perspective, and you believe life to be that way, you will live that kind of life, period. Period. And this is what I'm learning, and this is why I'm changing my life. And each time I make a video, each time I speak my words into existence, my life is changing. I'm at a higher vibrational perspective. I'm at a high frequency. My consciousness is closer to the divine. I'm over here communicating with extraterrestrials, real life. I'm on CIA level psychic power type shit. You feel me? I'm doing the gateway experience every day. You know, I'm meditating every day. I'm saying my affirmations every day. I'm enhancing my chi energy every day. And this is what I am downloading in my mind. This is what I've downloaded in my mind. And nobody can take that away from me. Not even you. You can't stop me because you're not in my reality. Nobody can stop me. Right? So always remember that you are the channeler of reality, and you channel whatever reality you wish to create. So channel the reality you wish to create, because right now, if you're channeling the reality that you want, sorry to break it to you, you want it. If you didn't want it, you would have changed it. So go ahead and accept change and live your life. I'm living my life out here in this beautiful nature spot, getting money, being free, inspiring others. You know the deal. Blessed be.